Listen, man. Listen, man. Listen, man. Listen. We talking.
Hey, everybody.
Whoa. You're going to get your mojo back, man. Just keep trying.
One day.
Hey, it's Matthew Harvey with the 12 o'clock siren.
Wow.
Recording here live in the 903 Broadband Studios at Cowboy Corner on the southeast side of the downtown Leonard Square. On my left is James Cabby Hat Hartley.
What's up, guys? We're back. On my left, I've got Jason Fuller.
Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Hey.
I'm here, and Jake is sitting in with us. Jake was just on for
Welcome
an
back,
interview.
Jake.
And who else? Tell us who else.
My
Jason.
cute little wife, Caitlin.
Yep.
Hey there, babe.
Howdy, Caitlin.
Gentlemen.
Well,
Speak up.
Welcome.
Hello. Sorry. I don't like my voice. I'm
none of
sorry.
us like
I'm
our
so
voice.
sorry.
It's
You'll
okay.
get over
None
it.
of us
I'm
like your
so
Or
voice.
you won't.
Or you might never get over
You
it.
don't have to listen to it.
James
it's fine.
has never listened to one episode.
I don't
He
like
Yeah,
it.
this may be the one I skip tomorrow on the way home.
I have less friends since I've started the podcast.
Yeah,
since we
some-
started doing this, I have
You
less
want a
friends.
boom?
No, thank you.
Yeah.
That's actually what I'm looking
Matthew?
forward to. Having less friends.
I pointed at
How
the
dare
boom.
you? How dare
Not
you?
y'all, of course.
Jason
but-
just reared his fist back. Are you a lefty?
No, but
That
I
was
got-
your left
I have
fist.
bandages
I
on
guess
my
you
right
do,
arm.
yeah. Okay. Right
He's
on.
got a strong left.
Sorry, it was just a joke.
That's okay. I'm not a lefty. I'm going to live longer than you.
Good. Hey, thanks, Jake, for coming out here
Yeah.
and
Thanks for having me,
hanging
man.
out with us and sticking around for the recap.
Thanks for hooking us up with the IVs,
Yeah,
man.
man. Appreciate it.
Faux
How you guys
And,
feeling right now?
Well, I just poured the rest of this screwball peanut butter whiskey, so I'm feeling pretty good.
So you're counteracting what you just did,
No, I pre-gamed with the drip.
and we learned in that episode that it's okay and sometimes preferred to
Or
take
necessary, even.
take an injection.
I like the bookend IVs, so you get one before and you get one after.
Yeah.
All right.
If you
That's
think
my
of-
jam.
If you think of hanging out and drinking beers with your friends as a professional sporting event,
Yeah.
I'm like the Dallas Cowboys of that. You take one.
Hold
before.
on. You go 4 quarters and then you throw up.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
no.
And leave everyone disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you get one prior to and then one after. The bookends. Yep.
Right on.
Love it.
Cowboys references hurt me. They cut me
Everything
deep.
Cowboys hurts
They
me.
cut me deep. What
I'm
about
interested
Mike
How
next
about
year.
Mike McCarthy? Let's
Mike
talk about
McCarthy?
him.
Jake, hot sports opinion on Mike McCarthy?
I'm nervous.
Do you
Uh,
are you in love with this hire? I don't think it was the sexy hire.
No, it
well,
wasn't.
That
Somebody like Lincoln
It was
Riley
calculated.
or
It
Matt
was
Rule
calculated
would have
for
been.
sure.
I think it was calculated, and I'm less nervous about it the more it goes on, because the truth is I don't really care who it was.
I think it was the safe pick, to be honest.
Okay.
Would y'all have been
Yeah.
happier if it was Urban Meyer?
No. I would not.
You know
No.
what? I love Urban Meyer as a coach. My pause with him would be whenever the going gets tough, he packs up and leaves.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, he's got some tough years ahead of him probably then. So
Yeah.
So my thing with McCarthy was the reason why he got pushed out of Green Bay was he refused to adapt
Yeah,
to
he got
the modern
stale.
NFL.
Yeah.
And so it's probably something that may not be innovative enough for the Cowboys, but maybe he can get over the hump.
Well, I would
Then he lied
I
to
would maybe
Jerry.
argue that point with the Cowboys are built in a manner they could succeed in an offense that's not complicated. They're built to run the football, control the clock, play action.
right.
They're not a complex offense, and they don't have to be, I don't think.
I read an article the other day too that talked about how the Cowboys stand right now, how it complements Mike McCarthy,
Yeah.
and he has some things to work with.
Sure.
And
In all 3 phases.
yeah, okay. I don't know what that means.
It's
It was a Jason Garrett
reference.
yeah, it was a
Capitalized.
stable.
Okay, it did.
It was a stable in his everyday
Gotcha.
talk.
Gotcha.
Execute, capitalize.
It's a coaching conversation.
Well,
Did y'all read that the reason why Jerry was so enamored with him was because he had whipped the Cowboys pretty much every time he came to
really? No, I
the
didn't see
Cowboys
that.
venue, and
Jeez.
that
I just thought that was really Aaron Rodgers that did that. Yeah.
Aaron didn't look so good this year up until the
Right.
playoffs.
right.
Well,
That's
Yeah,
why
looks
he's
like
Aaron Rodgers, though.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I saw everybody calls Tom Brady the GOAT and all that, but I've seen some head-to-head stats with him and Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers' stats are pretty salty, dude.
They should be.
You know,
The referees coddle that
that's
dude.
true.
Anything he asks
But
for, he
Tom,
gets.
the Patriots get too. I
Sure.
mean, that's kind of
you could say the same for all the great quarterbacks.
Oh man, because the Patriots get some calls.
The officiating in the NFL is almost to the point of having me turn it off.
Yeah, I mean it's
Agreed.
pretty bad.
It is.
Pretty
It's
bad.
terrible. It's terrible at times. It should not be terrible. It's just bad.
It's like they bet on the game.
Yeah,
Hey,
I mean,
watch,
it's like they
watch
get a
yourself.
call
We got a
from
prospect.
above.
We got a prospect ref.
Yeah.
We should.
You better
We
watch
should.
your mouth
Oh,
there.
yeah?
We're trying to get a ref on the show.
Well,
Well, maybe he can help.
Maybe
I
they can
can talk to him
explain
about
this.
it. I'm not going to pull that punch.
12
Okay.
o'clock siren turns some things
All right,
around.
I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you loose. Say what
Yeah.
you want.
How dare you?
Jason, go for it.
First of all,
I'm
how
not,
dare you?
I'm not going to pull that punch.
How
I think
dare
the officiating's
you?
terrible. Maybe he can come on and tell me why it's not or how they're going to improve it.
Prove me wrong. Is this our new verify?
Yeah.
Speaking of, I saw a meme the other day. You know the Steven Crowder changed my mind memes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it was the Astros did way worse than Pete Rose changed my
Yeah.
mind.
I seen
You know,
that.
Absolutely
I seen that.
correct. He bet on his
100%.
own team.
Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. And speaking of Hall of Fames and Cowboys,
Drew Pearson.
Pearson's snub.
That day,
That hurt
Again,
me.
that- that's
Unbelievable.
Breaking
And the
news
way
today,
they-
right?
yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah, the way they dragged it out and
He got his family together,
Yeah.
got champagne,
He thought
and then
this
got
was
snubbed.
the year that he's finally going to get in the Hall. And if you go and look at his numbers comparatively to other receivers who are in,
Yeah.
Lynn Swan.
Yep.
Lynn Swan's numbers and Drew Pearson's numbers are comparable if Pearson's are not better.
Right.
But, there's a lot of Cowboy snubs.
It's
There
that
is.
whole century thing.
Yeah.
I think that they were trying to make it a little more famous.
Now, if you
than-
compare his numbers to receivers of today,
It's a
obviously,
different game,
it's
though.
a different league.
Different
They
game.
used to run the ball. There were 14-game seasons.
Yep.
The Cowboys set up at the time with Tony Dorsett, and they fed him the ball
Yep.
a healthy dose.
Yep.
So, I don't know. Drew Pearson should be in there, though,
He
man.
should, and they shouldn't have done him wrong that way.
No.
They should have let him know, hey man, set
Yeah,
this
you're
one
not
out.
going to
Come
be in
this year.
Yeah,
Come
don't
next year.
don't gather up. This is not your year, but no.
No.
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
it should have been his year.
it's got to be next year. If
It's
not,
gotta
we
be.
riot, right?
Yeah. Well, might as well. Speaking of riots,
Speaking of,
What about riots?
Virginia. Is everybody paying attention?
Riots or riots or both?
or both.
Or
Yeah.
both?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
speaking of both.
Yeah.
Gun rights and riots.
Yeah. Virginia, man, they're about to mess around and find out.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Is the vote coming down soon? What's the deal?
well, so here's the deal. Every year at this time, pro Second Amendment groups form up and I don't want to say protest because they're not necessarily protesting anything. It's just kind of a rally, right? They do
To
this.
show support.
Yeah, they support the Second Amendment every year at this time
Hmm.
in Virginia. Well, blackface Governor Northam, the guy that
Yep.
wore blackface, but apparently it's not bad when you're a Democratic governor. It's only bad if you're a Republican or a Libertarian. He declared a temporary emergency, banned guns from the state capitol because white, quote unquote, white supremacist groups are coming in to protest. That's not the case. Let me tell you, when you add white supremacist or Nazi to the headline, it makes it easier for the normal people to swallow your rights being stand. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
sure.
okay. Well, I guess a bunch of Nazi groups are coming in to maybe we should stay away.
Sheeple.
It's not. It's just normal, everyday citizens protesting and supporting the Second Amendment. And I'm going to tell you what, it's getting dicey up there, man.
There's some people coming to their rescue quick,
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah, well, I posted on my Facebook here, and we're going to get in a tinfoil hat here, but don't if you're not from Virginia, but you're very liberty-minded, don't show up to Virginia. Call your friends in Virginia and see how you can help. That's all I will say on that.
Absolutely.
What are suggested things to do? Do you know?
Well, it depends on how sideways things get, right? If they start, red flag laws, gun confiscations, things like that, it's call your friends and say, okay, well, we're going to help with logistical support, because if it comes down to a fight, you're going to want supply routes and beans, bandages, bullets, things like that. Don't just show up with your AR and your stupid
Is this
MAGA
episode
hat.
going to get us flagged?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. If I'm on there, I'm already flagged. So yeah.
I think we all are, James.
Yeah, we're pretty. We're
We're-
pretty.
we're-
I
this is-
posted enough Boogaloo memes that,
I've been tagged enough. I'm like, don't tag me in that.
Yeah, it's all right.
Really, I think what we should encourage them to do is, if they're Second Amendment supporting Virginians, just pack up and come to Texas. We can use
That's
all of
exactly
you.
right.
Yeah.
Pack up, come to Texas.
Help us outvote these coming. Oh, can I say that?
Yeah, you can. Outvote these communists coming from New York and California.
Yeah.
James, can I ask about that one guy that this was back a couple months ago in New York?
Yep.
Whatever happened to him?
That's still to be seen. I know that the Westchester, I think it was. I can't remember the actual township in New York, but they actually deleted their entire social media presence.
That was the smartest thing he could have done.
Well,
Can y'all hear me? I think
Can we
so.
get some
think the other way
backstory
was
on this? I'm unfamiliar.
Well, there was a guy named Whiskey Warrior 556 on Instagram that posted a thing saying he was being red flagged.
Okay.
And look, I don't necessarily want him to be the poster boy child of the Liberty movement. He's got some obvious issues, but he was up there. He didn't have any illegal firearms or magazines or anything, but they sent out the entire department with SWAT and the hostage negotiators, and it was a very heavy-handed response to a non-issue. And
He's a veteran, correct?
yeah, he was a veteran, 10th Mountain Division guy, and well, that got the Liberty movement stirred up. So a bunch of liberty-minded people showed up to his rescue, got arrested. I mean, they showed up with guns, ready to throw down.
Yeah.
Man, it was crazy.
There was a call to arms.
There was a call to arms, and like hundreds of people went from the surrounding area
And it was all communicated via Instagram?
Mm-hmm.
via Instagram, and social
Yeah.
media.
Wow.
It was starting to look a little Ruby Ridgy until they showed up.
Yeah, it really was. And honestly, regardless of his personal issues and if this was the right time to start the movement or whatever, I think it made the people who are not liberty-minded, who want to trample the Second Amendment and want to step on your rights, I think they took note and they went, oh, man, there's other kinds of communication out there. There's other, people are not happy about the way things are going.
May not want to kick that nest.
Don't want to kick that hornet's nest right now, and that's what Virginia's about to kick that nest.
If something good came out of that, there may or may not have been more to that guy's story. As it turns out, afterwards, I think they were talking about like spousal abuse or something. And I don't know.
Turns out that was propaganda.
Okay.
But there is still some weirdness.
Yeah,
going,
but if anything good, maybe there was a pause. Maybe they were like, I don't know about that. Maybe this is a lot more than we're willing to chew if we bite this off.
People might be okay with us taking his firearms, but the next time we do it to somebody who doesn't have a record or something, it's going to be bad.
Well, aren't they always going to be able to dig up dirt on somebody?
Or if they
not,
can't,
they'll just produce it.
They'll just produce it.
Exactly.
There was I posted a thing on Facebook today or yesterday about this kid, African-American kid in Mississippi, who got booked and they didn't take his cell phone from him. Right?
I saw that article.
It was Reason.
I saw that too.
Yeah, Reason.com.
Funny,
And
I have a deja vu of this happening.
Was I doing this?
Actually talking. Oh, you were doing that. Thank you for. Brett's gonna appreciate that.
yeah. Anyway, so they found a cell phone that they did not take from him when he was in like Gen Pop or whatever, and they gave him 12 extra years
For possessing the cell phone?
because that's illegal in prison.
Wow.
The state Supreme Court heard it, and they said, yes, it does appear he didn't even know it was illegal and that proper procedure wasn't followed and that the sentence is kind of unfair, but we're going to uphold it. I say tar and feather every one of those justices.
How do you justifiably uphold that?
You don't. You're a corrupt organization and you're a redcoat and you deserve nothing.
You're overreaching.
Well, here's my question: how is that his fault? They didn't take it from. Now, I'm not trying to take anybody by side, but
it's not his fault.
yeah,
it's not his fault, and it's because there is a for-profit prison system in this country, and they just saw an easy win there, and they gave this poor black kid from Mississippi 12 extra years on his.
I was in a
stretch.
similar situation one time.
Were you a poor black
Were
kid
you
from
probably-
Mississippi?
yeah, for real.
No,
I think everyone at the
I've
table
seen
thought
this
it.
movie.
No,
It's called The
no.
Jerk.
No, I was in a similar situation. I was in a jail cell
Started out, I was born a poor
with a
black kid.
$50 bill and one of those little plastic things to wax a surfboard in my pocket.
Okay.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Did you get any
Yeah.
extra time from that?
Ruh-roh.
I didn't.
No. They
They didn't know it was in my pocket.
Well, what I was
I
gonna,
didn't know. I didn't find out till I left.
what I was gonna say.
I mean, this is just a fictitious situation
Oh,
that didn't
I
happen.
was like,
But just think about it. If you wound up in
your mother's
jail
like,
with some board shorts and $50 in your pocket,
yeah.
it happened.
Well, what I was gonna say in the previous episode when Jason said maybe we should just save this for the recap or whatever. I think all the males sitting at this table have one thing in common. That's all we've all been to jail at some point in our life.
I knew that's where
Yeah.
you were going.
Yeah,
Possibly more than
Gotcha.
once.
And I wanted to-
gotcha.
I
Well,
wanted to
I guess
say-
I just spilled my beans on that. I
Well,
didn't know that's where you were going with that.
I wanted to save Jake's business episode. Not that it was probably the greatest for his
Here we
business, but
To clarify, I spent one night in Collin County for a stupid warrant.
Yeah.
So I didn't murder anyone
Out of Tennessee
or
from a
molest anything.
Cracker Barrel.
yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Didn't steal any semen or anything like that. So.
this will be the
Whoa.
episode my dad does listen to.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
The reason I
Thanks a
brought
lot,
that
Rick.
up now is because when I went to jail in New Orleans Parish Prison, they also did not take my cell phone from me, and the only reason we got some people was in the tank. I pulled it out and started calling because I didn't know we weren't supposed to have it. Because if they didn't
They
take
let
it,
you have it
they
in,
let me
sure.
have it.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised when that angry woman came over and got it
Mm.
from me. But they gave that dude 12 years.
That has to
Yeah,
be
it's not-
somewhat
cool.
independent of jurisdiction because there's a particular city in North Tarrant County that my pal went to jail at one evening. And they not only said, hey, you can keep your cell phone and you don't have to put on any sort of outfit here. You just wear your normal clothes.
Yeah.
But we're going to serve you McDonald's for breakfast in the morning.
Was that Capel?
Sounds like Frisco.
No, it's neighboring.
Say hi to Tommy.
But he used his cell phone to make his one call, which I don't think they were really limiting.
What did
And
he order?
He called Blake Martin. It wasn't an
Oh.
order. He called Blake Martin at 6:30 in the morning and said, "Hey, I'm in jail. Come get me." And he told him, "Kick rocks. I'm going back to sleep. They don't let you keep your cell phone in jail." And so he sat there all day, and he's like, "No, seriously, man. I'm in jail. Please come get
Oh,
me."
Jeez. Thanks, Blake.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and
Can I
I
tell this
understand Blake's side too.
Can I tell this story about Blake? It's not bad.
Please
It's
do.
funny. So it was Blake that dated this girl for a long time, and then afterwards she got together with Danny Amendola, if y'all are familiar.
Yeah.
And Jake's brother, who has a horrible mean streak, for fantasy football or Christmas or some sort of gift,
Yeah, it was for Christmas, but it was, in the midst of the end of fantasy football season.
he got him a jersey that said Amendola's Angels.
That's what he named his team, and then got him a Danny Amendola jersey for Christmas.
Wow.
That's
Nicely played.
funny, man.
I like it when people go the extra mile for a joke.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. That just
I
take it all-
appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
effort.
It was exactly that.
All right.
Speaking
well,
of which, did y'all see the Jeopardy
I
goat
seen-
tournaments?
So they had
good.
the 3 best Jeopardy competitors on.
You've got Ken Jennings, who had the longest streak,
Went
and
like
I think he
87
actually
times.
won the most amount of money consecutively.
Okay.
James Holtzauer was just he's broken he's got more records in Jeopardy than any other player. Then you've got Brad Rutter, who has won more money on game shows than anybody else in the world.
Game shows. he's
Game
been
shows,
on-
basically just Jeopardy.
Oh, okay.
Just on Jeopardy.
Oh, okay.
He's been back for tournaments.
So he hasn't also been on
best
like
time.
Wheel of Fortune.
No.
Okay.
No, he's not just a good game show. He's a Jeopardy
Oh, okay.
mainstay. But and this is going to be a spoiler for some people who haven't watched
it's
it.
okay.
And I think I ruined Jim's experience the other day by asking him what he thought of it. Anyway, I shared it on my Facebook, and I don't know if you guys saw it. Before the show starts, it's a cumulative tournament. So your previous day's total
Carry over.
carries over to the next day. So to start the next day, they introduce the players with their previous day's total. Then they wipe the slate and proceed with the current day's game. The current day, they put all the scores up. James had 88,000. Ken Jennings had 40,000. Brad had 0 from the previous day. And Alex said, okay, let's remove their scores. They all go to 0, and James calls out Brad and says, hey, Brad's score is still up.
Wow.
And
Gold
in a slap in the face, and
Man.
one of the funniest and wittiest comments I've seen
Wow.
on especially Jeopardy.
show.
Yeah, a very
You know, an
civilized-
intellectual, civilized show. And I think Alex even called him out like, hey, that was a little off. That's not how we play the game or
Yeah.
something like that.
Good for
But it
Alex.
was a very funny, and coming from James, who's a gambler by
Yeah.
trade, it's just funny for him to be that arrogant and
Wow.
to say something like that. And
Ouch.
It
to
was
have
good.
the wit to, to
So what happened on that
it was,
show?
it
Did
was
he
just really
did
funny.
he
He lost,
run?
actually.
Oh.
Yeah, major spoiler
Should
alert.
have been talking poop.
Yeah.
Major spoiler alert, but I think he
Wow.
gave it
Yeah.
away. To be
Joke's
quite
on
honest,
him.
he
That's that
he
karma.
bet everything in Final Jeopardy and put down the wrong answer,
no.
and Ken Jennings won. So I'm wondering if James has a special deal to become Alex's predecessor.
Ah.
It's a theory I've
You've
got.
heard it here first.
Uh-huh.
It's a theory I've got. He knows what's coming. He's got tons of money from
Sure.
the show and from gambling itself. I think he's being prepped and he knows it.
Groomed.
So he doesn't care like to not get the goat.
Yeah.
Ken Jennings.
He's getting the contract.
And also, he stopped one game short of breaking Ken Jennings' record for the most consecutive games when he had tons of money more than Ken Jennings, like twice as much money accumulated than Jennings.
He's a better man than me.
So he
No
gave it up
doubt.
short
I
to
would have
give
smashed
Yeah.
it.
No
respect
mercy, baby. Cobra
to
Kai.
Ken Jennings.
That's it.
My opinion.
So-
it's probably wrong.
Koala now.
Yeah.
Can I ask
Yeah,
y'all
more
a
mercy.
More
5 questions type question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, that'd be
Please
cool.
hear it.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
What game show would you appear on if you could appear on any game show?
Oh, I know this.
Jeopardy, absolutely.
Jeopardy. Yeah.
Most extreme elimination challenge.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
MXC. Yeah.
Also, maybe Nickelodeon's Guts or whatever it was back in the day.
Yeah.
Had to
What was
climb
it?
a
Jeopardy's
crag.
the only one I've tried out
What was
for.
the old school one when we were kids on Nickelodeon? Was it Double Dare?
Double Dare. That's
That
what
was
I
a
was
good
meaning.
one. Yeah,
With
yeah.
Mark
That was a
Summers.
good one.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that was a classic.
Yeah.
I'm a Wheel of Fortune guy.
Yeah, I like Wheel of
can't help
Fortune.
it.
I like
Um,
it better than Jeopardy.
I'm pretty good
Yeah.
at Wheel of Fortune too.
I love
I do
Wheel
good
of
at it.
Fortune.
I'm not.
And
No,
You
also,
ever see that South Park episode? It was like, would you like to solve any?
Honestly-
no,
people-
Yeah.
Honestly, Price is Right.
Just for Plinko and to
Absolutely,
spin the
Price
wheel.
is Right. Probably
Bob
over Jeopardy
Barker-
because if I got on Jeopardy, I'd be so embarrassed.
if
'cause
it
I'd
was Bob
lose.
Barker Price is Right, I'm all over it. Drew Carey Price is Right, I'm out.
I
I
do
like
Price
Drew.
is Right.
I don't think anybody
I dig
else could
Drew.
do it. I mean, he still calls on you to spay and neuter your
I'm
pets.
happy with
mean,
him.
what
I
else
like
do you really
him.
need
What-
to-
yeah.
That's fair.
I used to watch
He uses that
I don't
tiny,
think
tiny
Drew
little
Carey could beat up
microphone
Adam Sandler
and
but-
holds it at the bottom just like Bob did.
Yeah.
You know that little
Skinny mic.
microphone
Yeah.
hole
I used to watch
thing.
a game show when I was a kid called Supermarket Sweep. It was like
Yeah.
old,
Mm-hmm.
and I would always be like, "You're going!" Like they had to go get the most expensive stuff. I'd be like, "I would win this game!" Like I know so much expensive stuff, and
Yeah.
but I
Right.
don't know. They don't have it anymore.
Go to Spring Market and get
Right, for
anything there.
real.
Yeah.
Cheers, y'all.
Oh,
Little Colorado
cheers.
Gold.
Where's my
Rye.
stuff? There it
I'm
is.
a fan.
I dig it.
Yeah. I'm
Jake
a
brought
fan.
us a bottle of Colorado Gold rye, and it's quite nice.
And he brought us IVs.
Oh, I'm good.
I don't
He
drink.
did.
I'm a teacher.
So have y'all noticed?
Do you give all your clients whiskey?
if they request it?
Yeah. It's an upcharge.
If I know they like
he,
it,
he puts theirs in the IV though.
Hey, this
That's
will make
it.
you feel terrible, but this
That
will make
would-
you feel good.
that would be an awful idea. But it is a verifiable fact that Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue actually injected Jack Daniels directly.
Yeah,
thought he did that with heroin as
He's
well.
actually a listener of ours.
Yeah.
Steve-O did that with vodka.
Oh my god.
That is
Do y'all remember that?
absolute
I
insanity.
remember
knew
that.
a guy once who did that with Everclear.
He's going to need some glutathione.
Merlin.
I
that is
remember.
Remember Merlin?
Yeah.
Yeah, Merlin did that.
I remember a Steve-O show called PCP Saved My Life, and it was basically a home video of him on a 6-day PCP binge, and it was hilarious.
Oh
It was
my
awesome.
I'm
gonna-
sure.
You remember that?
I think I remember
Steve-O?
two scenes.
Yeah, it was one of his home videos. It's called
Yeah.
PCP Saved My Life.
You ever
Remember
think
that-
God just looks down? I was like, God, what?
Remember that time
I
he
think God
chugged all
gave us
the
PCP.
yeah. Remember that time he chugged the goldfish and then he yacked
Puked
it
it
back
up.
up.
Oh, and it
He
He
cut
was
his
like,
throat.
"Come on, little buddy." He was
I
trying
took-
to save it.
I took a goldfish shot at Redneck Heaven.
No,
Yeah, still.
I've done the Minna shot. I
done
didn't
that.
do the
Yeah, I've done
goldfish.
that.
That was
All right,
just
that's-
too much.
That's what it was.
What
It
was your
minnow.
liquor?
Vodka, I think.
Jeez.
Minnesota.
I did
Yeah.
Patron, I believe.
I did Jägermeister only
I think-
because it was
Ooh.
viscous.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I
And
think
it's
it actually
licorice
may
as
have been
well.
a tequila. Actually, now that I think about
Stout
Is
flavor.
Redneck Heaven still open?
it, there's a bunch of them actually. Right?
Do
It's
they
a
still do the
terrible
minnow
place,
shot?
Really.
Yeah, it's not very good.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
They still do.
Still
yeah.
what?
That's kind of their staple, right?
What's that?
The
But I
minnow
thought it
shot.
was
they
like,
still do it.
Oh,
People,
they still
get
have
mad about
the
animals and stuff
two-way
being shot.
mirror over the urinal in the bathroom.
Yeah, the one in
The
Louisville.
creepy
Yeah.
one.
Little square hole.
Chicago.
Yeah.
You remember that in Chicago at Pippin's?
Oh no!
We went down
I remember
there.
Pippin's.
Yeah, and it's like a mirror, and then you can go.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
have you ever been through Ripley's Believe It or Not
Oh, yeah.
museum?
Back in the day.
You know, there's one spot where you're supposed to make a face into this mirror.
They tell you to curl your
Y-
tongue.
yeah, and then on the back side, when you get
You
through
can look.
later in the tour, it's a two-way mirror. You can see through it, and everybody's making funny faces. Redneck Heaven in Louisville has pretty much the same thing, but it's at the urinal.
And it
So you're
faces
looking at the
dining
entire
room.
restaurant.
Yeah, and if
it's
you don't
weird,
realize
man.
what's going on, you could make that
It's
I'm
weird.
really comfortable
That
having
building-
this long pee
Yeah.
face where your eyes roll
Yeah.
back in your head.
You're about 3 oat sodas in,
That
maybe
building
a minnow
was
shot.
the building was something else before, and then it turned
yeah,
into that. And I
it
don't know
was-
why they used that, but
What was it, man?
Romano's Macaroni Grill. Just a
It's a
guess.
little further
I don't
down.
know.
Yeah, no, it was. But it was
gonna
a
say something
restaurant.
else,
It was like
yeah.
a Black Eyed Pea or
I was
something.
gonna say it was a Denny's.
Yeah,
Dude,
I
does
don't know.
Black Eyed Peas even still exist?
bankrupt.
There's
There's
a
a
lot-
lot.
What
Black
about
Eyed
the
Pea, yeah.
Black Eyed Peas, the band? Is that still a thing?
Well,
I don't think
Fergie's
so.
still walking around.
Did
That's-
Fergie
I-
pee herself?
I had
one
him.
time?
Yes.
Yes.
She did.
I had them on
stage.
January
On
1st.
stage.
Yeah, I had purple whole peas on.
I had them
January
on
1st.
January 1st.
It blew my
Black
mind to
Eyed
find
Peas.
out that Josh Duhamel, whatever.
Duhamel?
It was married to her. I was like,
To
what?
Fergie?
I think they
Yeah.
still are.
Are they
Yeah.
still married? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought they got divorced. Oh.
Look,
He's an attractive gentleman.
I've gone on record as saying that I do not like chick music. That Fergalicious song,
It's
I'll
catchy,
jam that.
dude.
I'll jam
She
that
has a,
when I
Yeah,
leave here.
yeah.
How
She
do you
has
feel
a-
about Gwen
I
Stefani?
like First Class
I
too.
do. I like.
I
Gwen-
mean, I didn't
Gwen
hate
Stefani.
No Doubt back in the day. I'm kind of tired of seeing her face now. But
that
whatever.
BANANAS.
A kid
Uh,
asked me how to spell bananas yesterday, and I was like,
You had to
Let
sing
me play
it.
I
you
had
a
to
song.
do this. He's
Yeah.
like, why are you dancing while you tell me how to spell this?
Fergie had a like punk song, something about her Mary Jane's. It's about her shoes, but it's like straight up like ska, like punk. Yeah, it's
Mm.
pretty good. I
Fast
like it.
drums and
I listen to
whatnot.
Black
Yeah.
Eyed Peas on New Year's Day. I do it every year.
Yep.
You listen to them?
You got that tradition wrong.
Hmm.
You're supposed to eat black eyed
Oh,
peas.
really?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, drop
Yeah,
a
with
dime
that-
in them too.
Crockpot producer.
Oh.
Yep.
I thought you were supposed to listen to them.
No,
Sorry,
No,
I'm a
that-
millennial.
that's starting the new year off wrong. you
You
know?
have bad luck,
Will
sir.
I am an idiot.
Yeah. Dang.
Ooh.
Matthew's on fire today with the
Yeah,
puns.
he is.
Doesn't even know.
I know that vein one. I'd totally.
Yeah, you just.
I
just
had
that was
said
so
it, though.
many
We were
when I was
like,
just sitting there.
Yeah, I was like, wow,
That was good.
this is an easy job.
I was like, dang, Matthew's feeling
Just say
himself.
stuff.
Fish in a barrel.
Oh man,
Towns of fish.
I'm an
people in a
idiot.
barrel.
Matthew,
Will I am an idiot.
you got back from Breckenridge.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I was gonna go and I couldn't.
Well, I was a little jealous. You guys got about 0.1 inches of snow back here,
I know, the one
and-
weekend you go away.
and I was stuck with 4
Yeah.
4 actual
We got a
inches.
fraction of
Scoreboard.
an inch.
We got snow, and then it was
Actually,
70
at-
at 3 o'clock that
At the
afternoon.
Yeah, I
Harvey
heard it.
household, we got a lot.
It did in my
Yeah.
yard, but
I heard it burn off
uh,
really quick.
It was
Mhm.
gone by 1 o'clock, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
We got all 4 seasons that day.
We
My
got-
wife
Yeah,
made
we
it a
did.
little late to the party in letting the kids play in the snow, so
Oh.
I was at the fire station and I got
You had to
a
act quick.
photo of my son with
Throwing
a
water.
ball in his hand that was mostly dirt and a little bit of white stuff, and he was elated.
Aw.
Yeah.
I
Dude.
loved it.
Did you see the picture of my kids on the trampoline? They had
Yeah.
legit snowballs.
Yeah.
They were in
That
ski
was good
pants. Yeah, it was good.
They had some circulation efforts that helped their snow retention, so
well,
that's good.
Is that y'all's kids' first experience with snow? I mean,
no, I mean
don't-
they went to Breckenridge last year with us. and
Texas snow, though.
yeah, like
They've
when it
seen
snowed.
Texas snow, right?
They were young,
Yeah.
but they've seen it.
Yeah.
You ever
It's-
build homemade sleds?
No, but we have eaten snow ice cream.
Yeah, that's cool. You got to
Sounds
do that.
good.
If you get a legit snow, you
Yeah.
have to do that.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know if it's a everywhere thing, but it's a Leonard thing
Yeah,
for sure.
we do it for show.
Also, the pull something you should not pull behind your vehicle sled.
Boy, we had a
we
time
always
with that,
do
didn't we?
that.
We used to do it on a car hood.
Oh, yeah,
my
all
gosh.
manner of things. We used to have a long, like a coffee table, a black one, and we would flip it over and ride on that.
So there's another good question. What is the weirdest thing you've ever pulled behind a vehicle?
A human.
Oh God!
Oh, let's see.
Wait, wait.
He's from
Mattress.
Buffalo.
Skirt. Hold on.
Not
Mattress.
that way.
I really wanted to say something there,
Yeah.
but I can't say that.
Yeah.
You said a human.
What we did, and I almost watched somebody die. because of it.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It was
Oh, yeah.
close, wasn't it, Jason?
Yeah, I got slung off of there. Yeah.
What's going
Oh, it
on?
was
Where
you?
were
Yeah.
you?
No, it wasn't just me.
Yeah. It was me, you, Tyler.
Trent and I rode it together, remember? And Trent went one way and I went the other.
Who went under the
Trent,
and
he almost
he
died.
like limboed under the
He missed
fence
hitting his head on the metal rail.
in front of the junior high
junior
school.
high?
Yeah.
What was it? What
Uh,
were you riding?
an inner
A
tube.
human.
Inner tube.
Yeah.
No, it
All we
was,
heard was human.
This
Like,
is like a tube like you pull behind a boat.
all right.
He had a
little
septal
clarification
piercing,
there.
and you just pulled him
Yeah.
by that.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But it came really close to death.
Mm.
Yeah.
We talked about backroading earlier on the actual episode, and my first experience with backroading is also one of my favorites. We found a twin mattress on the side of the
There you
the
go.
dirt road, and it wasn't like
That
the
sounds
collegiate.
clean.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, but when you're in the state of backroading, sometimes that makes no difference. But this
Or
was
toss seats.
Yeah.
this was a little deeper East Texas, and it wasn't even like a caliche road, right? This was dirt because so many people had drug their truck through there and probably ran over
Dropping
trees
mattresses.
Yeah.
and dropping mattresses.
Yep.
So we played a game that I was completely unfamiliar with, and that was you grab 2 beers and hold them in each hand.
Sprites. Yeah.
And, is that what it's called?
Oat
Sprites.
sodas.
Oh,
Sprouts.
oat sodas.
Yeah.
Yes, bus sodas.
Yeah.
And
Drink them through
You-
the mattress.
you have to drink them on the mattress with no hands.
Jeez, where did you grow up?
He's a psychopath.
You're out there, man. You've
There
gone
was
from
spitballing
podcast host
here.
to shock jock.
Yeah.
Continue.
Okay,
So
sorry.
kind of like Edward 40 Hands, but with more life-threatening danger.
Yeah.
100%. There was one of 2 ways to get off that mattress, and that was to finish what you had in your hands or to fall off.
Oh my gosh.
And most people fell off,
Oh
including myself, and it was hilarious.
man, they went hard in the
Sounds
paint.
fun.
We used to do.
don't
I'd do it
like,
tomorrow.
we call them hay rides, but we used to pull a trailer around with a load of people. It was like a mobile party.
You know how you're getting older? Is when I'm pulling a trailer around and
When that
picking up
doesn't sound
trash
so much fun.
on my dirt road because people keep littering.
Instead of having 40 of your
Yeah.
best friends on there,
Like,
and
hey, let's go get drunk.
some
No,
oat sodas.
now I
Chocolate
tell
wasted.
everybody that we're gonna get drunk, but it's a trash picking up party.
We used to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna-
business
cussing kids
idea,
that threw
Jason.
trash on you.
Business idea.
By the way, I won't be making it this weekend.
Yeah. Also, there used to be some abandoned houses around on dirt roads, and we would like visit those. With
Oh,
like
yeah.
what
Y'all,
the
we
hay
haven't-
ride we would
haven't talked
take
about
to that.
Worsham Ranch.
Yeah, Worcester Ranch, man.
Yeah, there
That's
was
one of
another
them.
one out by the low bridge that it didn't have a driveway to it, and it also didn't have any stairs or any way to get to the uppermost bedroom. You had to go out on the roof and like walk around to get to it.
What the
Like
heck?
we're talking like Rapunzel room,
Yeah,
where you
that's
lock
they kept
somebody
their
in.
gimp.
Whoa.
Ooh,
It was
I've got
an
that
abandoned
story.
house.
Ooh.
Yeah, dude.
Now where
I told
is
you that
this?
story.
It was out by low bridge.
At
It's
Marshall?
Actually, we talked about the racetrack and
Yeah.
the
I-
old Leonard dirt track.
I'd
And
like to talk about that. real
Brian
quick.
Sudduth told me where the location was. He
Mhm.
sent it to me on Google
Me and
Earth.
my dad walked it recently.
This abandoned house is maybe 200 or 300 yards from there,
Okay.
straight west of that as a crow flies.
Okay. Me and my
Anyway.
dad walked the racetrack 2 weeks ago.
Okay, cool.
We went out magnet fishing
Yeah.
at Lowbridge, and I recovered a DVD player.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was
Pulled
there-
up a
well,
DVD
was
player
there any DVDs
Cashed
in
in.
it?
from. I
big.
couldn't figure it out.
Oh.
I just set it there on the
You're
bridge.
right. Take it to
Um,
GameStop, get 27 cents.
But I
Yeah.
found a well out that way. I dropped the magnet down the well. Didn't find anything.
Pull
me and-
out the
me
chick
and-
from the ring or
me and-
That's
something.
because
Yeah.
bones aren't magnetic.
True. Yeah. Me and Jim are going magnet fishing this weekend.
I feel like you could
Fun
probably
stuff.
go down to one of the more ritzy lakes, like Travis or something like that,
Yeah.
and really
On
pull
like
out
a
We have a
whole
couple-
set of
quality.
golf clubs.
Jim's got
from
a couple
some
spots
ritzy
on
guy.
Lake Bonham picked out. We're gonna go. He's got a magnet. I've got a magnet. We're gonna try to pull up some guns or something.
You know what I'm doing this weekend?
What?
Besides maybe watching the fight Saturday night?
What's that?
Sunday morning at 6:55, I am wheels up on an an Alaskan Airlines flight to Alaska.
Ooh,
Man.
owned by American Airlines.
What's that? Oh, is it?
Probably
Oh,
One World
This
Alliance.
guy.
yeah.
It's a One World Alliance.
Never been to Alaska, so I'm kind of excited.
Cool.
It's
Matthew
been-
will
exciting.
throw you things sometimes and then take them right back.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's been
Sorry.
our friendship.
When you
this whole time.
completely like believe him, he's like, "Yeah, you're
I'm
a
like,
fool.
really?
You are a fool.
Idiot.
I think it is
We
though.
lied."
I hope to see the Northern Lights while I'm up there.
Where are you going to?
That'd be cool.
Uh,
Specifically.
What do they
It's-
call that?
the
Aurora Borealis.
Oh, okay. Thank you, everyone.
I thought that was ritzy. I'm sorry.
Do you know
that worked out?
there
It
are
did.
southern lights too called the Aurora Australis?
I didn't know. Where can you see those
The
from?
poles? of-
Antarctica.
I was going to say
New
Australia.
Zealand.
just in the
based on
poles,
name.
then?
Yeah, basically. Just
Speaking of Antarctica, real quick, I looked up the largest land animal in Antarctica today. I don't because I do that sometimes,
no.
and it is I think a wingless minge,
Okay.
which is like it looks like a little
Yeah, it's like a
cricket
grasshopper
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
that's the largest land animal in Antarctica.
Wait, what?
Huh.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's
Nothing
tiny,
lives
little,
there.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of fat
Well, the
scientists,
other
too.
things they consider to be marine animals.
Yeah.
So
Peruvians.
Well, I almost went to Antarctica for 3 months through a Raytheon contract. I was going down there to
Would you
forecast
get
the
in
weather.
trouble?
No, I was going down there to forecast the weather. I was through the process. I was like, it was a contract job, and I was going to go do it. And they changed the contract from 3 to 6 months, and I went,
Too much.
6 months in Antarctica.
that's a lot.
That's
I
some
don't think
easy
so.
work, though. Like, it's going to be cold
Yeah.
AF for
Yeah.
the rest of
Cold
eternity.
and sunny.
Does it really matter? It's below freezing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's
what was
100 below
the
freezing.
Kurt Russell movie? Is it The Thing or something? That was
Tombstone?
Antarctica, right?
Tubes. What?
Bone Tomahawk?
Sorry.
No. He
Escape
had one where he was
this.
in Antarctica, and there was like some
Did
kind
he
of
really?
creature eating everyone there.
No.
What?
I'm
I
going
think
to check that out.
Predators versus Aliens happened in Antarctica too, right? The first one.
Yes, it did. It did. But one thing that I just gasped because one thing that I was skeptical on, Kirk Wrinkle confirmed for us.
He did. The
So-
old biology teacher came through.
Yeah.
Kurt
man-
Russell lives in Fannin County.
A man
No, Kirk Winkle.
can get a sheep
Yeah, this has been
pregnant.
confirmed.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Confirmed by
I've
one of
heard
our.
this in a separate source recently, which is mind blowing.
But most
No.
likely will miscarry.
No,
No, it
will.
will.
It will. It will.
It definitely will.
It
That's
will.
how I read it anyway.
I got terrified for a second. I was like, there's a most likely that.
You mean
You're
there's-
like, oh, crap.
that explains
There's a
everything.
lotion and cheap running around
Yeah.
somewhere.
Wow, Bill, we figured out what he is.
What?
Got some loose ends to tie up.
Oh.
It will
Dang, guys.
definitely
Those friends
miscarry
like these.
early on in the pregnancy.
But it is possible?
A man can
That's
do
what
it.
you're saying?
Because of the chromosomes.
There's a difference
right?
in chromosomes.
46
There's
and
46 versus
23.
23.
Yes.
Maybe it has something to do with it being even.
I love
but
that. I love
evenly
that
divisible.
Tool song.
A man can technically.
46 and 23 sheep
Yeah.
pregnancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that Tool
Is that
song
off their
too.
new album or?
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
like
know that one.
46andme.com.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I was thinking.
Yeah.
Oh.
Research
off-
your lineage.
It's
Yeah.
off their new album, Banama.
So, anyway,
That's good. You
So
know
you
who would
were-
appreciate that?
oh, I'm
That's it.
sorry. You were gonna go to Antarctica, but you.
Yeah, but I didn't because they said it's going to be 6 instead of 3 months.
Is
so-
that not the largest desert in the world or something? It is.
It is.
Antarctica.
Yep.
I thought I heard that one.
Joe Rogan had this guy named Ash Dykes on the other day, who English lad, and he walked across Mongolia, and then he also walked across China, and he took 5 weeks to walk across the Gobi Desert
Gee.
in his like year-long trek across China. And dude, it's an interesting podcast, man. Very
Wow.
brutal, very brutal. It was unsupported. He carried a cart
Oh my
and
gosh.
just walked across China.
Hmm.
Really amazing stuff, man.
Yeah.
People do some really cool things.
Or some dumb things, even.
Yeah, I mean,
Of course.
I mean, that's cool, but nobody asked you to. You know, nobody held a gun to you and was like, "Walk across this desert."
No,
Or
he
maybe
just
they
did it.
did. I don't know.
No, he just wanted to. He wanted to.
I mean,
And,
people do things,
and
a
it's
lot
made
of
him a lot of
times-
money. So is
Well,
it dumb?
That's cool. That's cool.
It's something he can always like. He can be master one-upper like in every conversation.
Right.
Like I walked across
I
the
walked the
Mojave
Gobi
Desert.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
Yeah.
the Gobi Desert. Sorry.
I guess. I think people are just extra sometimes, man. Just do.
That was a heck
you
of
know
a
what I mean?
gamble. I don't think you
Yeah,
know
for
you
real.
got
Got
famous
robbed.
from that.
Right.
No, he did it. He was young too. He's only 29 now. He was like 25 when he did it, and he just wanted adventure.
How do you prepare for that?
Didn't really. I mean, he
You get a lot of
Wow.
IVs.
You get an IV before
Yeah.
and
That's
after
right.
that.
Yeah,
You're gonna
You
need
go
it.
see Jake.
Plug.
that's a hell of a
You go see Jake first.
I'm good
Not,
at
not Plugola.
So I'm guessing after you get so dehydrated, like when you do drink water, it probably hurts, right?
Mm.
Wouldn't you think?
He
Jake,
said
help us on that.
he said he felt his organs drying up
Mm.
in the Gobi Desert.
Ugh.
Ugh.
when he finished.
I wonder what kind of creatures exist out there.
Apparently,
Those
there's
little lizards and stuff
well,
that burrow in the sand.
apparently there's a pit viper, and because people were like, you should walk at night because it's cool during the night, and apparently that's when the pit vipers
Right.
come out. He's like, you don't want to meet those. They're large, they're venomous, and very aggressive. And I don't like snakes.
Oh my gosh.
So
Yeah, that sounds like my nightmare.
That's my hell.
Yeah.
100%.
No.
exactly.
No.
But it's a really cool podcast. Everybody should go check it out. I've also been watching one called on YouTube called Homemade Wanderlust, and it's a girl who got the Triple Crown, and she hiked the Appalachian Trail, then the Pacific Crest Trail, and then the Continental Divide Trail.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she did all three. She's young, just did it herself and went out and did it.
What am I doing with my life?
I
you
know, that's what I
like,
think
I feel
all the
like a
time.
worthless human being half the time. What am I do? I go home and sit in my recliner
Yeah,
and watch The
Siberian-
Office.
and watch other people do these cool
Yeah,
things.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
That's the pit maneuver.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Like
The pit
Satan
maneuver?
picked one creature
know
to
how to do that.
become, and that's the one.
That's
so
it.
no. Mm-mm.
That's it.
NASCAR reference.
I'm out
I
on
think
that.
Caitlin's mic is messed up.
Is a
Can
horn
Can y'all not
viper.
hear me?
What?
Melissa was on last week and it sounded weird. No, it's not you. It's the
Did
mic.
it,
I think
did,
it's.
did it sound weird on the?
Remember we were making comments about it kind of popping.
Huh.
I don't remember that at all. Actually,
You kept looking at me every time. It
I
happened
listened to
during
it,
my
and I didn't
dumpster
know.
diva.
I don't think
Melissa.
it was. I don't think it was her mic. I think it was a connection because there was
I
interference.
keep hearing it.
Oh,
Something.
I don't hear it.
I haven't heard it.
Okay.
I haven't
Maybe-
heard it one
maybe-
time.
I listened to
maybe
her
it's
thing,
my
and
headphones.
it sounded fine.
It's got to be.
Anyway, sorry guys.
Anyways.
Has anybody listened to
that's
that
something we should
episode?
figure
Yeah,
out
it was
before
really
the
good.
show.
I was actually telling the teachers I work with today. I was telling them about her. One of the teachers I work with, she is kind of creative, and she kind of wants to start. She's like, man, eventually I would like to do like. She's like, I want to be my own boss. I was like, well, yeah, we all do. And I was telling them about her and that they should check her out. And she's a neat gal, neat lady.
I wanted to be my own boss, then I realized my boss sucks, and I was like, man,
Become your own boss, then you hate yourself.
Like
It
that,
is.
that guy's a jackwhack. Oh,
Yeah.
that's me.
That's me.
That's
That's
me.
why I started hydrology. I thought I didn't want a boss, and that is everything I need.
Like,
is a
oh,
boss.
oh,
I need
structure.
somebody to tell me what
I
to do. It's
also-
like a
Yeah.
business parent.
I also
Right.
don't
You
want
gotta
to
know
do
your
everything.
limitations, man.
Yeah.
I know that about myself. I'm not motivated enough to own my own business. Gotta be like, you know what? Not today.
I need to be the idea guy. It's like Bill Burr talks about what's his face from Apple, who was
Jobs.
Yeah,
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs.
He was like, man, I feel like he gets all this credit for being a genius, and he was like, really, he was just the idea guy. He walks around with some like pretentious fruit with like a pear,
Right.
and he's like, hey, make it like
Pois, but he calls it a pois.
yeah, make it like a book. When you go to your iPhone
Yeah.
and you want to turn the pages, make it turn like a book, and all the engineers are like, "Oh my God, man,
This
how do you
guy's-
do that?"
This guy's relentless.
Yeah. But he gets all the
Yeah.
credit for being the.
Right.
He was just the idea guy. He wasn't
Mhm.
like he was the one whipping the young kids in the sweatshops or anything.
Right, exactly, man.
I'd like
So
to
somebody
be an
else
idea
was doing
guy.
the work.
That's
I've got a lot
something
of
to talk
ideas
about.
and
That's-
no skills.
Speaking of talk about, how about Ricky Gervais on the Golden Globes?
That was
Did you
amazing.
watch that?
Did y'all
was
see
amazing.
the still of Brendan Fraser like yucking it up, loving every
I
minute
seen
of it?
Tom
I
Hanks'
didn't know
face.
Brendan Fraser was still alive.
Brendan, well, he,
and,
Why-
and getting
why did he
invited
go
the
to
Golden
that?
Globes.
yeah,
Why
right.
did he go to the Golden Globes?
He was like laughing out loud. Like I was like, man,
Encino
That-
Man came
Look,
out a good 25
for
years
real.
ago. What was he doing
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
And that was the difference between him and skilled actor Tom Hanks and
Yeah.
his reaction.
Yeah.
And
My God.
I saw a meme that said you
he
should
was
watch
upset.
everybody who's laughing and everybody's who's not, and you'll know who the good people are.
Who's the
Right.
guy
I
that plays
thought
Kylo Ren?
Keith Urban's
Adam
was
Driver.
He thought it was
particularly
hilarious.
bad. Keith
Well,
Urban's face.
I didn't see
He
it.
looked completely disgusted and appalled,
Yeah.
and like
course
he
he
was
did.
part of the machine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he is.
Yeah.
And,
Oh yeah. He's like, oh my god, this is gonna
Yeah.
do.
How dare he?
This would be a detriment to me and my wife's marriage.
How dare he?
well,
We married each other to make a dynasty.
yeah.
You can't
his
expose it.
wife? Is he married to Nicole Kidman?
Yeah.
He is
yeah,
indeed.
Yeah, yeah.
now who?
Well,
All 4 foot
And,
3 of them.
and Tom Cruise.
Isn't she like 6 foot
Still.
tall?
Yeah, she's
is.
6.
She literally stands over him by like 10 inches.
At
It's
the-
insane.
I've always thought
folks,
she
on
was
Keith
pretty,
Urban.
but I never understood the Nicole Kidman infatuation. Like, she
Well,
hasn't
did
been
you see
hot
Days
in a long
or
time, but
Days of Thunder?
I
Like
did.
she was attractive.
she was pretty.
I liked
But
it.
I like
liked
how you
her
can
more
see her
in,
organs.
Far and Away.
Yeah, she was real
Her
young in that
skin's
one.
really clear.
She was. Yeah, she was pretty.
She
young.
is,
see-through.
she's translucent.
She's very white.
yeah. Get some sun on them legs,
It
girl.
wasn't a dirty joke. Her
What
skin's
was
like
the other
transparent.
one, with the weirdo movie with the masks and stuff.
Moulin
yeah,
Rouge
I
was
liked,
shit for
I
me.
liked that
Yeah.
movie.
Which
that was
one?
I did too.
Stanley Kubrick.
That was Kubrick. It was his last one.
Still,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
I
he
thought it was
died.
good. It's one of the more terrible movies. I thought it was all right.
Like Eyes Wide Shut.
That's
That
what
whole-
we're
Yeah, that's what I'm
talking
talking
about.
about.
Well,
Yeah.
I like the concept of the movie.
Yeah.
I thought it left a lot to be desired.
Yeah.
But the story was
It's
enough. It just didn't.
It's a movie like in college. I'd always catch it halfway through, beginning or ending, and I'd just pick it up
You
and
ever
just kind of
get-
fall asleep to it. And I
Yeah.
just kind of, I don't know, it was kind of weird.
Every
Easy
once
to
in a
do.
while,
Yeah.
I'll come across a movie and I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be pretty good. Like, it starts off really interesting, and then at the end, you're just like, that's it.
That's it.
What? There's no more. Where's
Like they
is there
ran out of
part
money
two,
to
or
finish
what's
the
going
movie.
to
They
happen?
just cut it off.
Yeah, that was kind of one of those.
Right.
Yeah, the Ricky Gervais thing, man. Adam Driver, the guy that played Kylo Ren, he was a Marine, right? He was
Okay.
a Marine.
Oh,
infantryman.
really? Wow.
And he thought everything was hilarious.
He did.
Good for him, man.
Yeah.
I love that guy. By
Okay,
the way.
so-
I do too.
Unpopular opinion or unpopular opinion? Do you think like that was he did that on purpose? Like
shoot
that was
or a
like
work?
yeah, exactly. Do you think he
Yep.
was like for reals on that? Like he's
Yeah, I
British
do.
and he's sick and tired of the U.S.
No,
or
I mean, no, I think he's everybody was like, oh, he's a conservative hero. No, he's not conservative, but what he did was
just not a fool.
he's just not an idiot, and he sees Hollywood for the hypocrites they are.
But
and he
that's
called them on it.
comedy too.
And he's
A lot of that
comedian.
is
That's
Yeah.
it.
comedy.
Right.
It's definitely his
It's being
comedy.
able
This-
it's being able to poke fun at yourself and
Yeah.
acknowledge.
Well, I just
and-
find
and-
it funny that they
All the
can get
best
up
have
during
done
their
that.
speeches and give this political speech, but then when somebody who
They get all
loves,
mad.
yeah, loves the Constitution does that, they're like, oh, that's not. How dare you? Like this
I
isn't your
know.
pedestal. This isn't your
that happens
soapbox.
everywhere. That's
Yeah.
why
It
Chef is not on South Park anymore. It's exact same thing.
Well,
Some people can't laugh at themselves.
they can't. Yeah, he was.
And
fine.
you know who can't?
Who's
The dirtiest dogs are the ones that can't laugh.
Oh, they
Uh,
can't.
You know what I
They
mean?
can't.
Yeah, yeah.
I
They get
liked
so
it
butthurt.
at the end.
You
He
can't say butt on the
the
end.
last thing that Ricky Gervais did was like, all right, and I guess the nominee is Bird Box. Oh, a movie where you pretend not to see anything to survive. And he was like, much like working for Harvey Weinstein. And everybody booed him. And he goes, don't boo me. Y'all did that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was the truest
Yeah.
moment. Y'all did that.
Yeah.
I didn't.
A lot of
you know?
victims in the
created
room.
it.
And
You look
yeah.
the other
supported
way.
And let me tell you, Courtney Love was speaking on that back in the day. There is a video of her on YouTube saying, hey, somebody said, do y'all have any advice for the new actresses? And she was drunk, and she was like, don't spend any alone time in a hotel room with Harvey Weinstein.
Courtney Love.
Yeah, from Hole.
Sidebar on
I didn't know she
Courtney
acted.
Love.
She acted. Yeah.
Yeah,
she's
she
in
did.
lots
Oh,
of things.
I've got a very, very
literally did not know
perfectly
What you got,
segued
Matthew?
conversation about that in Jeopardy. One of the questions.
Let's
no, check
circle
it out.
back,
This
shall
is
we?
perfectly. This is awesome. In Jeopardy, one of the categories was Roman numeral, and the Roman numeral was they gave an equation, and then it was
I'm out.
it was it was like 1,000 divided by 5.
Okay.
Or sorry, 500, and then it was compiled or represents this actress who was given a Golden Globe or one of those awards
Sure.
in 1997.
Okay.
The answer was Courtney Love.
People
What they were-
versus Larry Flint.
what
Larry
the
Flint.
yeah what the Roman numeral they were going was for CL,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
meaning what 1500 or something like that.
150.
L is 50.
150.
But anyway, that was the answer. And Ken Jennings from Seattle rang in.
Wow.
No, sorry, it was a double Jeopardy for Ken Jennings. But his answer, he thought about it. And he came up with just a CL
Right.
that he could think of, and he was like, no. And Alex Trebek was like, well, that was Courtney Love, is who we were going for, and he's from Seattle, and he goes, well, the people of Seattle will be proud of me for not knowing that.
Yeah.
I was like, dang,
Oh.
that's freaking cool.
That is
'Cause,
cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
Courtney
Well,
Love,
she
so
killed
many-
Kurt Cobain, so
her
layers of a
reputation
question.
precedes her.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I would like to have the Jeopardy music play softly when we do our 5 questions.
we should do
we
that
can work
too.
on that.
Good.
Yeah, just in the back. Do, do, do,
I
do,
can
while
I can
you're
make
doing
that
your-
happen.
Yeah. I
It
like
might be pressure filled though.
No, we turn it down a little bit.
Yeah, I
And-
like it.
Mm.
I want Will Ferrell to take Trebek's place when he retires.
No.
Just move on in.
I do love me some Celebrity Jeopardy though.
Yeah.
Brad Rutter
Uh,
gave a Sean Connery on a Sean
Oh,
Connery inspired category.
Oh yeah.
It was bad. but
Penis
he did it.
tear.
The rapists.
Yeah.
Anal bum
That's-
cover.
That's the. Yeah.
That's an album cover. I like the,
Schwartz.
who did Keanu
Schwartz for
Reeves?
400 rack.
That is S words.
Who did Keanu Reeves on there? All he ever said was $11 billion. Like every time.
Yeah.
I liked the Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds
Burt
was great,
Reynolds.
man.
I'll take Schwartz.
Yeah.
He would laugh at everything
Yeah,
that
give me
Sean
Schwartz.
Connery said.
I was. My
chewing
mom
his
sent me
gum.
one.
Norm
it was
Macdonald.
more.
One
to-
of it.
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, we were just talking about Jeopardy. There was one that they had just done, and it was Black Jeopardy, and they had Tom Hanks on there as like MAGA hat. Like, what, dude? You need to
yes.
go watch it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that
I'll
was
check
very
that.
good.
Yeah, check out SNL's Black Jeopardy with Tom Hanks. It's,
Yeah.
it's funny.
one of
Very
the questions was like, "What can a skinny chick do for you?" And he buzzed in. He's like, "Not a dang thing."
That's funny.
Anyway, so we had some snow. We got a new Cowboys coach. Matthew did some stuff for Baby Bear Cub.
Baby Bear Cub's
Is getting
bachelor party.
married.
We didn't get into that, but we went snowboarding in
He's
Breckenridge.
getting
Had a
my heat
good
up,
old
man.
time.
I
4
love
days of
Colorado.
snow and powder and just beautiful
I was so jealous.
mountains and clear and cloudy and just
Perfect.
14,000 feet above the sea level. And
Mm.
That sounds.
we did
dreadful.
35,000 feet of descent over 4
That's
days.
sarcasm.
Oh, okay.
If that means anything to you.
I'm
I've
jealous,
seen
man.
all of Brett's videos of you guys
It was
shredding
fun.
and stuff.
Apparently, I need to get a helmet.
Yeah.
I
Oh, for real?
snowboard without a helmet, and that was cool in 1997, I guess. But everybody wears a helmet, and I just realized
we are
that
from
everybody
the
wears
no
a
helmet
helmet.
era.
We
Right,
are.
I'm right
The
on that
OTSS
edge.
era.
Yeah.
Where
Right.
I grew up going skiing and snowboarding without a helmet, and
Right.
still haven't. I'm doing a
I'll be
black
honest.
and like blues, and everybody has got a helmet. And I look around, I'm like, man, I think I need to get a helmet next time
They're
because
looking
I
at
feel
you.
out of yeah,
They're like, "Oh my god!"
like I'm an idiot or something.
Yeah.
That said, I never got hurt, so that's good.
Sonny Bono.
I busted
changed
once,
it.
right? I busted my butt once, and that was it. But I'm
Yard-
pretty
yard sale.
cautious.
Man, I ski with a helmet now. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I will next
rock
time.
a helmet every time I go.
probably a good idea.
So-
just in my old age.
This has nothing to do with any of our previous conversations.
That's
but,
okay.
I had a buddy texted me recently and was talking about wanting to get a CHL. Said that the church shooting, where the guy
Driving
was
truck, huh?
carrying and shot the guy that came into the church. He said that sparked him. I was just wondering if you guys have heard anything similar. Has there been any kind of spark up in any of your circles with people wanting to carry a concealed firearm these days?
I don't know. So on Twitter, I've just recently gotten active on Twitter.
I'm sure he's inspired a bunch of people.
Yeah,
Yeah, he got a medal, right?
100%.
the governor gave him
Yes.
the highest Texas medal you can get.
Yes. Uh-huh.
I will say on Twitter, y'all remember Pugs, right? We
Yeah.
used to go back on
Mhm.
Facebook. Well,
Yeah.
he's on Twitter now, and we went back and forth. And he tried to spin this as this guy was a retired FBI agent. He was a blah blah blah. And I was
That
like,
was the story. For
yeah,
a while.
it was, and he got real quiet when I was like, no, he was a reserve deputy in 1986
For like 6 months.
Right.
No, it was like 81 to 86, but he was a
okay.
reserve deputy, and I was like, that wasn't. But he was a gun nut,
Yeah.
and I said, listen, this is very important. You understand this. If you would have met this guy in any other part of your life, you would have ridiculed him. He's a hardline Trump supporter, a conservative, a gun nut. He owned a gun range and store.
He had an aptly named gun range called On Target.
On Target.
Yeah,
Yeah,
where,
that
where he
was his-
teaches CHL
yes.
training.
And let me
Where
tell
he
you,
taught this, like he is the poster boy for
And-
taking care of business.
he is the
Right.
poster boy for a good guy with a gun.
Yeah.
And let me tell you,
Yeah.
as a gun enthusiast and somebody who shoots for my guard job, right? What he did was solid shooting.
yeah.
That
It was
is,
about 40
One hitter
feet
quitter,
on the movement,
yes.
one shot.
And could care less about notoriety.
no, yeah,
No, he
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
know.
but what we're talking about is the actual the drawing of the firearm, aiming it at this guy, and
The
one
distance.
single tapping this guy with a concealed carry gun,
Yeah.
It's textbook.
which are notoriously not as accurate as your, like, say, military sidearm or anything like that. This is his carry gun, and he shot at what, 20 yards?
And if
Oh,
you
yeah,
listen
Single
dude.
tapped this dude to the head.
If you listen to his account of the situation, It's like
It was-
it's like he was born to do
Yeah,
it.
well,
he
he
was.
said, you know, I train with my weapon, and that's why I could do that, and I felt comfortable taking
Calm
the
as
shot,
a
but,
cucumber, cool as a
I'll
pickle.
tell you right now,
what they
I'm not
say.
so confident
Oh,
I could
Matthew.
do that.
No,
No.
I couldn't
No,
do it.
absolutely
And
not.
it made me realize that, like, going to church and having my family there, like, it is not just about having the license and having the
No,
firearm.
there's a lot more
No.
to it.
You've got to be doing it every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every week.
You need to
gotta
know
be
that
doing it.
thing in the dark.
'Cause
You
it
need to know
wasn't-
it with your offhand. You need to know it.
Yeah, and it wasn't just shooting. I mean, first of all, his shooting was textbook, and it was great.
No,
and it
he
was
did
impressive.
everything right.
But it was
in that
hesitating to
scenario.
let people get out of
Yeah.
the way, and it was understanding what was behind him. And I mean, dude, he straight up painted that wall
Yeah.
with that dude's brains, and I couldn't be prouder of that.
Yeah,
guy.
he waited till the target was clear.
Yep.
He took a shot that most people probably should not take.
Nope,
a
but he
headshot.
could.
But he
Uh,
explained it.
Yeah,
I knew I should take
yeah,
it.
he felt comfortable with
Yeah.
his skills because he
Yeah.
trains and
And to have that
It's
presence
impressive.
of mind,
Yeah.
and
That's what
moment.
training does for you.
Absolutely.
Right, it's the same thing if you watch the footage of the D-Day landings, right? And you think, how are these guys moving forward? Right, they're withering machine gun fire, bombs blowing up, people's
Because
guts
it's a
hanging
default.
out.
That's what the
your
military
default.
does.
Training.
It's default.
Yeah.
Training overcomes that fear and that indecision, and it just gets you forward.
And
that
and
guy's a pro.
methamphetamine.
That's true.
Well,
Yeah.
yes.
yeah, I mean,
I'm
like,
sure.
like
Yeah.
SEALs go watch Lone Survivor and how wonder to yourself how those guys push through. It's because they tear you down to where that is your default.
Yep.
Forward progress.
Yeah.
Keep going, no matter
going.
what cost. Keep going.
Well, you saw
And
like Lone Survivor. I mean, I know Lone Survivor's a
Training
movie,
will
but
do that for you.
like in the movie, Ben Foster's like tore up and stuff, but he just keep going. That's
Yeah, I
military.
mean,
like that's your
well-
default when you're torn down to be a Marine or a Army Ranger or whatever.
Just
The
training
movie
in
part of
general.
Ben Foster, that's great and all, but hearing Marcus Luttrell talk about
Yes.
his thing when he was talking to Alabama's football team,
Mhm.
and he was talking about how he woke up and he said he was feeling sorry for himself.
Dude,
and he
that was an
like,
emotional.
he was like,
speech,
you know
man.
what? He was like, I reached out my arm and I drew a line in the dirt. And I drug my body across that line, and I drew another one, and I did that for 7
Yeah.
miles
Wow.
in the Hindu Kush at like 13,000 feet elevation, and he did that shot with broke ribs and out. He an RPG blew him out of his pants.
Oh my god.
Like, I mean, the dude was messed up, and he did that for 7 miles.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's a different mindset, dude. That's what training does for
Training
you.
I'm
will
not that
do
much of a man.
No,
I'm just not.
not.
Well,
I'm
the
like, man,
few
the cable's out.
Yeah.
I don't want to even go run a mile and a half tomorrow.
No.
Well, that's
I
why
did
they
that
say the
other day.
few and the proud. You know what I mean? Like it's not
Yeah.
everybody can be
Yeah,
that
it's the
way.
few because a lot of people realize quickly this is not for me.
No.
Yeah. No,
I like
absolutely.
computers.
I'm not willing to do the work.
Right.
I like desks.
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
I like CrossFit in the morning in a temperature controlled.
I like
Yeah.
pizza and TV.
Yeah.
And sleeping in my own bed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I know I'll be
Socks.
going to bed at
Dry
night, and I've had
socks.
this like recurring thought, like, man, I'm gonna enjoy this because there's gonna be a day I'm like booging out in the woods, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna be laying on sticks. I'm
No.
like, God, this pillow's nice.
I'm gonna
Right.
be booging in. I can already tell you I cannot do anything sub 70 degrees outside.
your
at
life
night.
depended
I can't.
on
I
it?
can't. I'm sorry. I'm booging
Well,
in.
me and Turbo just remember you then, I guess.
Good luck to you guys, and I'll jump on a grenade for you
No.
as it's over.
Well, it's
My
been about an
time.
hour since you guys took your injection shots here in the veins.
In the face.
We're-
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Jake's our pusher. I feel good, man. You'll feel it in the
Feeling
morning.
good?
Feel great.
I feel good.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear how you feel tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how I wake up.
I hope to hear a good report.
Yeah, you might get a bad one. What if it,
And
I'll
be
call you,
my
be like,
report
Jason's
cards.
violently
What is
throwing up.
Jason slept through his alarm. He's still at home. It's lunchtime.
I got a question.
He feels terrific. He can breathe well.
That saline, what is lactated ringers?
Whoa.
Lactated ringers is
That's an IV solution, though,
It
right?
is an IV solution that is an alternative to normal saline, which is what we typically give. And ringers is great for certain situations. It is a different pH balance. So sometimes you go through certain things where you get really acidic.
Yeah. Can you alkali my system with lactated ringers?
100%. That's exactly what it's for. So a
Look at
lot
me.
of times it's given to burn victims because you get really acidic when you get burned. It's also given to people that have rhabdomyolysis.
Yep.
And that's a big, long, fancy word for I overdid it in my exercise. And not that I could ever get myself to rhabdomyolysis,
Right.
but people that do really intense long-term exercise, like an ultra marathon or a really hard CrossFit event, they can get to that point, and then ringers
That's
are
an appropriate. Yeah.
they're a great solution for them. I've actually looked at adding that to our protocol, and Dr. Jones, my partner, he's in on that. So
Cool.
I know someone who, I can't remember what type of cancer it was. I think it was leukemia. I think it might have been leukemia. And they were able to actually cure themselves by getting them.
Scoot up to the mic.
I'm trying not to cough into the mic. They were actually able to cure their cancer by keeping their body alkaline for. I think they went to like a clinic or something that.
Yeah, supposedly it
the-
makes like a hostile environment.
Yes, and the
Yeah.
cancer cells have to die because they can't live in that acidic environment. I thought that was really cool.
they say that no disease or malformed cells or
Mhm.
anything can live inside your body if it's in 100% homeostasis, which
Yes.
means that your pH balance
Like a
is
7.4 or whatever. It's supposed to stay
absolutely
at.
correct. And none of us are in that situation right
No.
now. I can assure you that.
I wonder what the
Um,
people in the world would look like if we had like a perfect, we didn't eat nasty foods and we had a perfect alkaline system.
Y'all should have seen me devour that Big Mac. It was disgusting.
You look
I
like
would
a
have been
rat.
right there with you. I'd have been like, order 2.
Yeah. Do you ever eat and you just afterwards you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that day
I'm
it was
terrible.
gross. I didn't even
3
enjoy
times
it.
a day.
Sometimes Caitlin will bring home a pizza and I'll eat it all.
Remember that time we both ordered pizzas, sat
been
on the
there.
couch, and ate both of them? We were like, who are we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smash a whole. I eat it over the sink like a rat.
That's when you knew you wanted to marry me because we could
Yeah.
both devour a pizza together.
You know what's worse than that? Whenever
Shamelessly.
you're too lazy to go get the real pizza and you hit up the Totino's.
Ooh.
I kind of
And-
like to like.
I love
Yeah.
Totino's.
I like
unashamed.
DiGiorno too.
And DiGiorno. Yeah, frozen pizzas are my jam.
Oh, I
It's
cooked,
the struggle. It's not
yeah.
DiGiorno.
Yeah.
One time I cooked a DiGiorno and left the cardboard on the bottom.
Oh, man.
Talk about ruin your night, man.
Yeah.
It was still delicious though, wasn't it?
I mean, the top,
Cardboard
the
tastes
top
better than the
part, they
pizza.
Eat the toppings off.
Seasoned.
Throw away the pizza,
I was like,
eat the
man,
cardboard.
this is hard to cut. Also, it's a lot of smoke this time. What's going on with that?
Did y'all see they rescued that guy in Alaska, just south of the Arctic Circle? He had been 21 days without shelter and
What?
sub-zero
Did see
temperature.
that.
He said a hasty mistake cost him his house
Oh,
and his
man.
chocolate lab. Unfortunately,
Oh.
he was in his house. He needed a fire, and he used a piece of cardboard to start the fire, and it carried the spark up, landed on his roof.
Nope.
He woke up later with like stuff dripping and
Oh, my
realized
God.
his roof was on fire, got
Oh,
out. But
man.
they said his presence of mind saved him. He got all his like warm clothes and stuff out,
Right.
but he had to scavenge through his burned house and like find food. And he was out for 3
Oh,
weeks, dog,
Jeez.
south of the Arctic Circle
No,
before
thank
somebody
you.
found him.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah,
Jeez.
that's where I'm going next week.
Where? What part are you going?
Owlson Air Force Base at Central Alaska.
Uh-huh.
I fly into Fairbanks.
Fairbanks.
and-
That's
yeah.
not far from where Santa Claus lives, right?
Yep, North Pole, Alaska, is on the route from Fairbanks to Owlson. So don't hit the
You
fancy.
think 903?
Don't do it.
His finger was on the button.
You think
That's what I
903
wanted to do.
broadband will go there?
Reach there?
Maybe
I don't know.
they might expand to there someday.
They might have an
We'll see.
antenna up that way.
I bet 12 o'clock. Hey, we need to make some stickers. I want to tag everything with 12 o'clock siren
There you
stickers up
go.
there.
Yeah.
So,
There's some right there.
all right.
I got a
There we
couple.
go.
Grab
on the
'em.
Jeep.
I'm stealing one of those, by the
Right
way.
next to my 903 broadband stickers. Thank you very much, guys, for sponsoring this show.
Local internet by local people.
Yep.
That's a good job.
Broadband
Did way better
internet
than
with a
than I
smile.
did.
Guys,
Tyler's probably like,
They-
stop.
903 is definitely taking care of this podcast, bringing it to you, uploading fast, quick, and easy.
that's true.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's true.
can't complain. They've done wonders for us getting this stuff up quick.
And being able to check my email while I'm on the podcast.
Yep,
That
we've been
helps, too.
searching stuff through the show. We're gonna have it up on YouTube, so that's gonna kind of open up our, I
Yeah.
guess, streaming capabilities. Everybody, give a good wave to the YouTube folks.
And my business is going to be ruined.
Yeah.
We're tearing up that bandwidth with the video now, so they're gonna hate us for using so much.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
quick and easy, like I said, 903 broadband. Give them a call.
Yeah.
We want to thank Jake Little once again for coming out and
Thanks, Jake.
Yeah.
promoting some hydrology.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the hookup.
Infusion.
Absolutely.
I'll be honest, I do like hydrology technology.
That's
You
catchy.
want to
It's
say it, don't
catchy,
you?
man.
Hydrology technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm jealous I didn't come up with it first.
No, it's
Yeah.
fine. I just looked up at your hat, saw hydrology.
It sounds
and
like
thought
something that
technology.
like Snoop Dogg would do, though.
Jake's got a good
Hydrologizzle.
Snoop Dogg meme.
Technologizzle.
I've got
That's what Snoop Dogg would do.
Hydrizzle, technizzle.
no. It's better than that. There's
Hydrologizzle.
After the show, we'll show you a meme that made me
a
laugh.
really good meme that
okay.
it is. It's totally appropriate for the show, but if you can't see it, it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
Mm-mm.
I love it.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. Give me Dallas.
Thank you, fellas.